Understanding how money works. Money is a standardized unit of value that is used to make the buying and selling of products in an economy easier. When compared to trading goods and services directly with one another, using money results in significantly lower transaction costs for both buyers and sellers. The early forms of money were commodities such as gold and silver. Because of their inherent qualities, they were much sought after as a means of exchange. In today's modern economies, the term money can refer to government-issued legal currency or fiat money, money alternatives, fiduciary media, or even digital cryptocurrencies. The functioning of money. Money is an asset that can be easily converted into other forms and is used to make financial transactions possible. It plays the role of a medium of the transaction between different people and different entities. A unit of account that can be used to measure the value of other things, in addition to being a store of value in its own right. Before the widespread use of money, most economies were based on the practice of bartering, in which people exchanged the things they already possessed for other items that they lacked directly. This brought up the issue of the double coincidence of wants, which meant that for a transaction to take place, both parties involved had to possess something that the other required. Because it functions as an intermediary good, money can solve this difficulty. The very earliest types of money that were ever discovered were agricultural products such as grain and cattle. These items were in high demand, and merchants were certain that they would either be able to put them to use in their businesses or sell them again in the future. Moreover, early types of currency included things like cocoa beans, cowrie shells, and equipment used in agriculture. Because of the increasing complexity of economies, monetary systems were standardized into different currencies. This made it easy to measure and compare value, which in turn reduced the cost of doing transactions. In addition, the physical manifestations of money, such as precious metals and imprinted coins, gave way to representations such as paper notes and, more recently, computerized records as the economy advanced. Money should be fungible, durable, portable, identifiable, and stable so that it can serve its purpose to the greatest extent possible. These qualities make exchanging money simple, which lowers the overall transaction costs associated with utilizing money. Money must be fungible. The quality that enables one object to be exchanged, substituted, or returned for another thing on the premise of equivalent value is referred to as fungible, and the name fungible refers to that quality. So, different units of money should be able to be exchanged for one another. For instance, coins made of metal ought to have a consistent weight and level of purification. The quality of commodity money ought to be reasonably consistent across issues. If you try to use a non-fungible product as money, you will incur transaction costs, since each unit of the good will need to be evaluated on its own before you can make a trade. Money must be stable. The utility of money should be able to be maintained for a significant number of transactions in the future. The usefulness of a good in subsequent transactions will decrease if the good is either perishable or rapidly loses quality as a result of several exchanges. Attempting to utilize a non-durable good as money contrasts with the fundamental use and value of money, which is to be used in the future. Money ought to be transportable. The quantity of money that can be transferred or carried on one's person should be manageable, and it should be straightforward to carry and split. For instance, if one were to try to use a commodity that was cumbersome or inconvenient to transport as a form of currency, this could necessitate the use of physical transportation, which would result in transaction costs. Money must be recognizable. Users should have no trouble verifying the genuineness of the product and determining its quantity, which will make it simpler for them to agree to the conditions of trade. When a non-traditional item is used as currency, there is a higher possibility that additional transaction costs will arise. These costs may be related to the requirement to verify the item's legitimacy and reach a consensus on the amount that must be traded. The availability of money needs to be reliable. To avoid swings in value, the quantity of the commodity that is circulating in the economy ought to remain, for the most part, unchanged over time. When a non-stable product is used as money, there is a possibility that its value may grow or fall before the next transaction takes place, as a result of scarcity or an abundance of the good. This risk results in transaction costs. Where does the money go? The primary purpose of money is to serve as a medium, via which individuals can trade objects of value with one another. Yet, in addition to its primary function of acting as a medium of trade, money also serves several other purposes. The unit of account, that is money. The use of money as a unit of account is possible because money functions both as a medium of exchange for the purchasing and selling of products and services of all sorts and as an indicator of the worth of those goods and services. This indicates that money can keep track of changes in the worth of objects through time as well as multiple transactions. Individuals can utilize it to evaluate and contrast the monetary worth of numerous things and services in a variety of combinations and quantities. The use of money as a unit of account makes it feasible to account for earnings and losses, maintain financial equilibrium, and place a value on a company's overall assets. The role of money as a value storing medium. The potential use of money as a medium of exchange and interactions is fundamentally oriented toward the future. In this sense, it offers a mechanism of storing a monetary value for use at a later time without causing that value to depreciate over time. Hence, when people trade goods for monetary compensation maintains a specific value that may be used for other kinds of deals. Because of its capacity to act as a store of value, cryptocurrency makes it easier to put money away for the future and conduct business over extensive distances. The use of funds as a substitute for postponed payment. Because money is generally recognized as a means of trade and because it is a valuable form of storage, it can be put to use in the form of credits and obligations to facilitate the transfer of value over a range of different periods. A sum of money can be borrowed from another person for a predetermined amount of time, and then that sum of money can be repaid to the first person, in exchange for yet another predetermined amount of money at a later date. Market, determined money. The natural order of the market is one possible source of the origin of money. As people engage in the practice of bartering for different products, some goods will prove handier than others because they have the optimal combination of the 5 attributes of money that were discussed before. These items could, over time, become more desired as objects of exchange as opposed to their actual utility. People may come to covet a good only for future trading at some point in time. During human history, precious metals such as gold and silver were frequently employed in the function of market-determined currencies. They held a significant amount of value throughout a broad range of countries and cultures. In paperless economies, consumers sometimes turn to non-perishable products such as cigarettes, quick noodles, or other non-perishable goods as a market-determined money alternative today. Money that is issued by the government. When a certain kind of currency has achieved widespread acceptance throughout an economy, the governing bodies of that economy may begin to regulate it as a currency. They might decide to issue standardized coins or notes to cut transaction costs even further. A legal tender is a sort of money that is required to be accepted as a final means of payment in courts and other government agencies. A government may recognize some money as legal tender, which means that they must accept it. What do you think about this video? Do let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.